quarterback's been doing so far?
They're very coachable. It's very new what we're asking them to do, and truthfully, I wish we were further along after watching Friday's tape. But it's certainly not from a lack of want to, and I'm not even sure it's a lack of can do. I think we've got to coach it better, and hopefully we'll see a turn toward a better understanding of what we're trying to do this week. But again, I've been very encouraged by their willingness to listen and to be coached. And we met a good while yesterday, and just me kind of making sure we're all saying the same things about what we're wanting to do in whether it's our RPO offense or our progressions and reads, and so hopefully we can coach it a little better this week and see, practice 7, 8, 9 this week. Hopefully we elevate the play there.
You mentioned Friday's scrimmage. What were your main takeaways? I know you said it wasn't going to be.
Yeah, it wasn't. This Friday will be. Truthfully, I don't like to tackle an enormous amount. I feel like the running back room is a solid room for us. The last thing I want to do is hit those guys too much. But truthfully, we're going to get after it a good bit this Friday, and a little bit the following Wednesday, and then obviously the spring game. So, I think that kind of just got out that I think you have to list 3 of those for the compliance rules, but we don't really use 3. But this Friday will be a good test for us. We'll have more stuff in and more situational stuff covered today and Wednesday so that we can put it down and actually have some drives. We'll have the SEC officials here Friday, so we've got a lot of work to do before we get to that point, but hopefully it turns out to be a good day. But last Friday was more of just another practice, truthfully.
To the left, Brian Matthews.
Yeah, Coach Freeze, what have you seen out of Camden Brown so far this spring? Did he show you some things in that situational scrimmage on Friday?
Yeah, he scored a touchdown. There was a really nice play on a back shoulder ball. I think he again, he's just an adjustment period. And I think the 2 positions that stand out to me right now we just have a long way to go is the quarterback room and the wide receiver room. Not saying we've arrived at other spots yet, but those are the farthest off because they're probably the most we asked them to do the most, truthfully. And it's brand new to them. Which RPO should be run based on what coverage I see, and how do I properly get off the technique that the DB's playing. We're very, very raw at that right now. I think Cam has great potential, and I'm excited about having him for sure. I love his attitude also, but we've got a ways to go. Not just him, but he still flashes. He made some. I want to see he had 3 really nice catches in the team situations Friday.
Mike,
Coach, circling back around the quarterbacks, you talked about the evaluation that's happening right now with those guys in that room. Can you talk about how you guys are evaluating a quarterback like Robbie Ashford, who brings a different dynamic that's hard to evaluate when the quarterbacks can't go live?
Great question. I don't know. It's I don't say that to be funny, but I truthfully I remember vividly when we got Malik Willis to Liberty. All you had really heard was, because there was no significant snaps of him doing what we wanted to do in the college game. I mean, I think he had like 15 snaps in his tenure here, and they were all pretty much zone read. And so you get him, and there are people that practice really, really well. There are people that don't practice as well. I've had those before. Bo Wallace was not a great practice player at all, but played well in the games. Chad Kelly was a good practice player and a good game player. So you've kind of had them all. And truthfully, going in that fall camp with Malik, I had no clue if he was going to be a complete player, because you don't evaluate that portion of the game that you're referring to, because we're not letting anybody. I mean, the whistle's being blown as soon as he pulls it down. And we get in the first game, and it was against the defending champions of Conference USA, I guess they were in at the time, Western Kentucky, who's I think does a great job. And we're in the fourth quarter, and this guy rips off 3 throws, pulls down his own read, and runs for 30 or 40 yards, and looks like a tailback when he ran it. And so my point is, I know the question's about Robbie. I don't know that, because I haven't witnessed him in the games. I've seen the tapes and stuff, but I think it's very hard to evaluate just how good he can be practicing the way we do. So it's hard for me to answer.
We're going to go far back. Bill?
An area of concern on the defense, I know coming into the spring, was finding an edge rusher. How are things looking at the Jag?
We need to recruit more. We're not where we need to be in rushing the passer. We certainly will improve our guys, but we've got to get better at that spot for sure. And I mean, at all spots, but we've got to get better. We're deficient in true pass rushers currently.
Any thoughts on moving anybody over there?
We really hadn't discussed that. I'm not sure who that would be, truthfully. Again, Elijah's given us great reps. He's a heck of a teammate and leader and understands the game and is decent at it, but you sure would like to have, a Derek Hall, that is going to be in pro day tomorrow, somebody like that. We got to get some more of those guys. Keldrick Falk's got a chance for sure. He's just a young kid right now, but he's what they're supposed to look like.
We'll stay in the back, middle of the bias.
Hugh, getting back to quarterbacks a little bit, what have you liked and what haven't you liked when it comes to Ashford, Finley, and Holman?
Again, I've liked their attitude, and I've liked their work ethic, and I've liked the way they've desire to be coached. I don't like the inconsistencies that I have continued to see through 6 games. And again, I want to say that I think part of that is on us, the staff, to get fixed. And I've challenged myself and the quarterback coaches to let's get some of this fixed, these inconsistencies, and see if it's I don't want those inconsistencies to be because of indecisiveness or lack of understanding. That falls in our lap. And so we got to figure out, make sure that's not it first, and then hopefully by the end of the week we see it being more consistent.
Front row, Jason.
You mentioned Keldrick Falk. How have you seen him progress after missed a lot of the valuable time because of having that surgery?
Right.
How have you seen him develop, and what's he bring to the table?
Well, I think he's going to be a phenomenal player, and I think he's going to have to play early. And he's a great kid to coach. A prized recruit for us in that first class, and very pleased with him. Obviously missed a lot of time, but he's going to catch up fast. He's just got to learn now. You're asking him to do a lot. That position on our defense does a lot, and so it's a big learning curve. it's great he's here this spring to get these 15 practices so that he goes in the summer with a better understanding. But we're excited about the future for him.
Tobias, you got a follow-up?
Also, just where are you guys health-wise, and if you had to name a starting quarterback, where would you be on?
Health-wise, unfortunately, we're in week 3 of spring, and the list this morning, the staff was longer than I'd like. You know, whether it's nothing is serious, thank God, but it's 3 or 4 hamstrings, sprained ankle here or there. Tate's out probably for the rest of spring, unfortunately, and you know, with he dislocated an elbow, and the MRI was great on that it's nothing structurally, but it takes time for those things to tighten back up, and that hurt us in the O-line for sure. But the rest of them are just nagging things and we lost one early with a collarbone, also. Yep. So we you know, it's not I mean, it's week 3 of spring, and I wish we were all healthy, but there'll be several that can't go today, but it's nothing major. I have no idea on the starting quarterback.
We're gonna fix this real quick. I apologize. We gotta be better at this.
Got to be better. Got to be better, Kurt.
Michael.
Coach, you referenced a few times you guys have a lot to evaluate this spring. But in the running back room, you return a running back that's averaged 7 yards a carry in the SEC through his first 2 years of college. How do you guys manage maybe the load that somebody who is more proven takes during the spring, and making sure you keep them healthy but get the requisite amount of reps this spring?
Yeah, I think we've been pretty calculated with that, and will certainly be calculated with that when we tackle Friday, and one tackle period the next Wednesday, and obviously the whatever the spring finale ends up being will be calculated. I've seen enough to know that he's really good, Jarquez, and he's a quick learner. That is an easy position to learn pretty much, as long as you know which way we're going and what kind of blocking scheme it is. And I'm really pleased with what I've seen from him. So I think our other guys are solid too, but obviously I think he's a difference maker.
Are the young guys picking up the blocking schemes?
Yeah, Batty's, you want to ask them to do things that they can do, that they're very good at. I've had that before. Do we want Batty in there all the time when we're in 6-man pro? Probably not. But he sure is dang good if he gets out and gets in a one-on-one with his hands on the ball. And you just got to be, I think you got to be very smart of what we're asking, those guys to do.
Jason?
You talked about Tate being out. How much does that give a big opportunity for some of these young guys like Connor and Ray Jordan?
Yeah, we're rotating folks around a lot. Well, we're trying to. The thing we really would like to do is get 3 groups reps, and you got 3 quarterbacks that really need equal reps, and we've been committed to that to this point. It's starting to get to where putting 3 groups out there it could put a load on people in the secondary today, especially secondary receivers and O-line. It's it's going to be a pretty good load to get all the reps we want to get because of that. So we're trying to rotate, make sure it's not the same guy getting the double load that's having to go the reps with whether it's the 2s and 1s or 1s and 2s or 2s and 3s or 1s and 3s. So that it takes a little juggling.
Stand in the front row. Nathan?
You mentioned some of those injuries. We saw Malcolm Johnson in a sling. What's his situation?
It's a collarbone. So
What do you see him coming back this spring?
not this spring, no, but I want to say they expect him back in June sometime.
Coach, you got a follow-up from the back, Bill?
Yeah, how are the linebackers adjusting and coming along in the
That's actually one group that I think I have felt like we've improved ourselves from practice 1 to practice 6. I don't feel as good about some others as I do that one. I think Josh has done a nice job with those guys, and the additions we've made there have helped too. But I think we're a little deeper and better there than I originally felt. I hope I feel that way after 15 practices, but that's kind of how I feel today after 6 practices.
Ryan Stoltz, well, good, we got 3 in a row right here in the front row.
What have you seen from Justin Rogers, and how did you treat your wife on Saturday night for her birthday?
Oh, so this Justin Rogers is a football player. He's a handful. He's going to be, somebody that, Lord willing, stays healthy, and we depend upon to be a factor in the middle. But he requires a double team. I think he will. So been really pleased with how he works. He loves the game. He loves to practice. He's got a joy about him that's fun to be around. So I've been really, really pleased with him. Jill and I are not big celebrators on birthdays. We kind of wish we weren't, that we could rewind the clock a little bit, I think. But she honestly had a very, very long week because of her mother has been in the hospital, and she had been in Mississippi with her mom to help her dad a lot. So all she wanted, her whole deal was, I'm not cooking anything, and I said, well, baby, you don't have to. And she gave me the list of her choices of food, and I catered to her every desire on the food, and we watched the game together. So that was our day, and we watched a movie, which is big for me because I don't watch movies much. Yeah, well, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was about Roma Downey. Gosh, she used to play Touched by an Angel or something. That's so old. See, y'all are young folks. Y'all don't know any of that stuff. You know who she is. Wing on a Prayer or something? Wing in a Prayer? Or come on, man, that's a tough question. But we did. We watched a movie together, and then all the kids came over and we watched the game together too. So it was a fun night. And then took her out to eat after church, of course. That's when she wanted to go out to eat. So we all went out to eat after church yesterday.
Coach, talk system for a second. What kind of progress are you and Philip Montgomery making in kind of melding your systems together and figuring out what this is going to look like?
Yeah, it's a process. Really like, I think it's going well. I just wish we were further along with our quarterbacks and their inconsistencies with some of the RPO game. And I think maybe we should teach it a little differently, and that's what we'll begin today. And so it's going great, though. I mean, neither one of us have an ego. We're just like, man, how do we get them better? And so it's been fun to work with him.
Would you say maybe whatever lack of progress they're having in the quarterback room is slowing the install of the offense?
Oh yeah, we weren't planning to install a ton because it's so new, and I want us to get really good at our base stuff. But I am hoping by this end of this week we feel like, all right, their eyes are in the right spot. Their decision was really good. Now, did they execute it? And we've got to handle those first two. We got to have their eyes in the right spot, and whatever the progression and decision making has to be done correctly. Quarterback should be making the correct decision if he's going to be your guy, 85 to 95% of the time. And then you judge the execution. and then you start knowing who your quarterback is based off those. Right now, we're having too many of the eyes in the wrong spot, and decision making's not exactly what it should be.
We got three more, Coach. Revise.
You mentioned watching basketball, obviously the first 20 minutes better than the last. Other than Trey Donaldson, that's too easy. Which Auburn basketball player would you recruit to play football, and where would you put him?
I like two. He could play somewhere for me. You have to help me with names. Yeah, I like him. I like his demeanor. I think he could play tight end. Big 44. Yeah, he could be a four technique in our odd front for sure. I don't know how fast Flanagan is, but I like tall receivers. If he were fast enough, probably there. There's a backup point guard that comes in. I think he's a great safety. He's got a lot of hair.
Trey, that's Trey. Yeah, he was safety.
Yeah, okay. I think he's a good safety. So I'm not sure who I'm missing, but those kind of stand out as I see a good four technique here, a good maybe rush in or tight end, into a really good safety in downs. And how tall is Flanagan? 6'6". Yes, yeah, I'd like to have that at the 10-yard line, for a fade ball.
All right.
Coach, who are some guys that have stepped up as leaders that have impressed you this week?
Tate, Jason Jones, Elijah, all the tight ends, truthfully. I think that's a strong room for us, not only as players, but as culture guys. I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but that's ones that have kind of stood out to me as, we'll start developing our culture council here after spring ball, and I'll be curious to see what the team says. I'll let them vote on that after us having a good spring, and be curious to see what they say. We've had an incredible last week and this week of recruiting. One of the top running backs in the country here yesterday, and then we're loaded today and Friday, and last week was strong. We also had our letterman here Friday, which I thought the turnout was phenomenal. I don't have a number on it, but I thought it was really good. So it's been a good. I think we're headed trending in the right direction in all those things as the leadership. I don't know why I just thought of those things as you ask about leadership, but be curious to see after spring kind of what our unit thinks.
You mentioned the Letterman. How important is it to have that group especially involved in the program?
I think it's vital. I've always felt that everywhere I've been and tried to make them feel a part. It's hard. It's hard for you to personally do that because you don't have time. But I want them to feel it when they do come, and I want them to know they're welcome to come. And, those are guys, there was all ages here. And those are guys that have sweat equity in this program that are really the cause and reason for all of us to believe Auburn can be elite, is because of, some of the things. It's been done before by some of those guys. And so, I think they deserve, to feel a part of what we're trying to do, and they're great. What better ambassadors are there for our program than those guys?
Last one, far left, Greg.
Pro Day tomorrow. I know you didn't coach these guys, but you've been a part of Pro Day before. What's it mean just for the program, having the adult scouts here, just getting them to the next level?
Yeah, it's always a big day. You want to put on a. I don't think we're on TV, you're correct, or so. I've been a part of those that are still good, and we've got obviously 3 or 4 guys that and everybody anticipates being drafted, and then I'm sure there's others that we picked up as free agencies. I don't know enough about all of them to to talk, but I've also been a part of days where it was a huge day and every TV's there and every NFL network's there. Even at Liberty, we had that, and we had it at Ole Miss also. And you know, that's where you want to get it to where it's a big deal, and it's a big deal anyway. But you know, we wanted to get it to where it continues to grow. So how do you do that? Well, one, you recruit, and two, you put on a good professional show, organizational wise, and everything. And our guys have done that a lot. And I know that it'll be a good day tomorrow for our guys.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Yep. Thanks, you guys. Yep, that's it.